My name's Alex Mahalik, and I'm here with Michael Turpin today. How are you doing today?
I'm good. You?
Good. I'm great. So going into your 11th season as head coach, how does it feel to reach this milestone?
It's good. So I started as a JV coach right when I first got a job teaching, and kind of to see how far the team's progressed since then, how far I've progressed since then. Because I really didn't know what I was doing when I first started out, which is why you start out as JV, you start as assistant coach, and then just the amount of stuff I've learned and the amount of things that we've added to this program over the years, I think it's kind of night and day from there to now, and it's kind of crazy to think that it's season 11.
What originally drew you to coaching tennis, and what keeps you passionate about it every day?
So my senior year, I played JV, and we had a team of like 26 guys, I think. So I was one JV singles, and I spent a lot of time working with a lot of the newer guys, because I want to say we had maybe 10 new guys that came out too. And then just kind of, I realized that season that it was really fun to not just play, but also help other people learn the game, and it kind of drew me the idea of I could do that for a job one day.
Coming off a strong 12-4 season last year with only one graduating senior, what were your specific goals for this year's team?
So 12-4, it was a good season, but also we had so many rainouts last season, which is unusual for fall. We really could have had a better record than that, but the goals don't change year after year. Only one guy graduate, and we still have the set expectations of perform well in conference. We obviously want to do well in the sectional. We want to progress and try to compete in the regional, but our main goal every single season for the whole team is just every day get better. Take practice seriously, do what you need to do to make sure you're improving as a player. And as long as our guys do that, the program continues to build, continues to grow. And it doesn't matter if I graduate one guy, if I graduate 6 guys, our expectations are still going to be what can we do to make sure by the end of the season we have done the most that we can, we've put in the best amount of time that we can, and we've actually made sure that we have reached our peak by the end of the season.
What do you consider your most significant accomplishment as a coach so far?
Probably winning sectionals. That was something that for several years I had lost 2-3 multiple times, and it's just something that when you get that close, you want to finally achieve that goal. So then 2 years ago when we finally did, and it was a very competitive match, it came down to some tie breaks. It was very back and forth, and to win that 3-2, that was, me personally, a huge highlight. And then just to see the guys and all the work they'd put into that and finally achieve that goal, I would say that's one that I'll never forget.
So you teach second grade at Eden Elementary during the day, and the difference between high schoolers and kindergartners is very different. So how do you transition mentally between those two every day?
It's actually really a nice transition if you think about it, because if I did the whole day of the same age range, I think you'd get burnt out a little bit. So it's kind of nice to have the younger kids during the morning, and then I work with them on math, reading, science, all that stuff, and then you come out here and it's just more of like your passion. I love playing tennis. I like coming out here. It's fun to teach you guys that. It's great to see that we have the ability to continue to grow. And then I think if I did second grade all day long and then came out and coached second graders, I think you'd get burnt out on that. And if I taught high school and then came out here with the high school kids, I think I'd get burnt out. So it's kind of nice to have the different age ranges, the different attitudes, the different mentalities. So it just gives a good break between the two.
But you often talk about team culture being pretty important. So what specific elements of the culture do you work hardest to build?
The biggest thing is, like I said, we got to get better every day. We got to work hard, right? So hard work is number one. If you have a team and everyone's slacking off, like you could have the most talented team in the world, but if they don't try, then it's not going to matter. And then you have to have persistence in your matches too. You got to make sure that you're tough. You can't just roll over. So again, if you're really talented, but all of a sudden you're facing a tough opponent for the first time and you just give up because you can't handle that, that's not going to carry over to where you want to get either, right? And then obviously we got to get along as a team. We got to build each other up. So from our worst guy to our best guy, everyone has to be willing to work together. They have to be willing to help each other improve. They have to actually set the tone every day in practice. From the moment we walk on this court, this is what we're doing. It's business as usual. We're trying to improve, and it doesn't matter who you are on the team. It doesn't matter what your record is on the team. We're all going to work towards that same common goal, and that's what helps you get better.
So this is the final year of the HHC conference, and what are your expectations for conference play?
I mean, this year we've done awesome. We are 6-1 in conference, and then we had a very tight 2-3 loss to Delta, and it actually came down to a tie break. And then just to see what that's like going forward, I mean, the expectations aren't going to change. You still want to compete, you still want to do your best, you still want to try to be towards the top of that. I think we actually could potentially have some tougher opponents coming in down the road, which I think will be awesome for us because you don't get better unless you play better people. So over the next couple of years, it's just going to be about trying to continue to develop our program to try to compete at the next level and keep growing and push towards that. But with this one too, with it being the final year, I thought it was an awesome experience for us to do as well as we did.
So 2 years ago, we reached the regional championship after losing sectionals my freshman year. So what key adjustments did you make that breakout year?
Yeah, that was an amazing year. And then we got all the way regional final. We played Fishers, and then it was kind of like an eye-opener of, okay, this is where we need to be now. This is the next step. So the biggest thing is obviously you got to start thinking about that in your practices, that, you know, the regular season, we got to figure out how we can push ourselves even more. So we've added some tougher opponents to our schedule. We obviously play Brownsburg tonight. We play Westfield on Monday. So we have some tough state-ranked opponents to end out the season, and it's the kind of things that you have to do to push yourself to continue to grow the program to get to the next level. Because at the end of the day, conference is fun, sectionals is great, but if you want to rise above that and you want to compete with the top teams in the state, then you have to start playing those teams in the regular season. You have to continue to see where you want to be to get better.
After falling short of the sectional title last year, what changes are you wanting to make a deeper postseason run this year?
Last year, we were very competitive. I think we ended up losing 2-3, and that was actually a year after we had graduated several key seniors. So to even be as close as we were was pretty impressive, I think. And then obviously that makes you want to keep pushing even more. So to have the returning group that we had, like we talked about earlier, we had one senior graduate. So to have that many guys come back, it was nice to know what we had established and in place, and it was a matter of trying to figure out who could fill in the missing spots on our roster so we could push. And this year we're 19-1, so it's working pretty well. But I always say regular season doesn't matter. I would go 0-19, it wouldn't make a difference as long as we get to our best play by the sectional. If we get that title at the end, that's what matters.
Well, I want to go back and talk about the year that we won sectionals. We had some college-level players. Chris Long, you went to Marion. Mateo Malamphy, you went to Southern Virginia University. What does it mean to you that those players have made it this far?
It's awesome. It's great to see that not only are they coming out here and they're playing and they're exceeding on the court, but that they get a chance to continue to do that after high school. And then it just shows, too, how serious our program is getting, to the point where not only are people pushing themselves on the high school courts, but they're also being sought after by other schools, and they're getting to show that, you know, Greenfield-Central is becoming a pretty strong tennis program by representing themselves off on the court somewhere else.
I've been part of your program since I was 8 years old at your tennis camp, and now I'm a senior. So do you have any words of encouragement that you want to prepare me or any of the other seniors for the real world?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you started when you're 8, so I remember giving you and your brother lessons out here on these courts, actually, when you guys were in elementary school. And then, I mean, you weren't good then, let's be honest with it, right? But it's a matter of just starting. And if you actually stick with it and you continue the process, there's a bee right by my hand, and if you work towards that every single day, then eventually the growth comes. And then if you think about yourself too, right, you were not the tallest kid in elementary school, you weren't the tallest kid in junior high, but you continued to push and push and push, and you built yourself towards what you are right now. And you yourself own the record for most wins for Greenfield-Central in varsity career wins. And it's just the same thing that anyone else should need to know. If you want to play tennis, you got to start. Just get out and do it. And if you wait and wait and wait and wait, then it just gets harder and harder. But the sooner you start, the sooner you give it a chance. And if you actually put in the time, you can actually become a very successful player.
I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Coach Turpin.
Yeah, thank you, man.